Have you heard about Nintendo's new Switch 2? It's got this new feature called Game Key Cards, and it's stirring up a huge debate. Especially now that the next Pokémon game is involved. Gamers are really worried they won't truly own the games they buy, and it's a big deal. So, what's actually going on, and should you be concerned? Let's break it all down. When Nintendo unveiled the Switch 2, they showed off these Game Key cards. The idea is simple. The game cartridge you buy doesn't hold the full game. Instead, it has a small bit of data, and the rest of the game has to be downloaded onto your console. Think of the cartridge as a key that unlocks the digital version of the game. Initially, everyone thought this would just be for third-party games. You know, other companies trying to save some money on producing physical cartridges. It made sense. But then, the bombshell dropped. Nintendo's game card, Pokémon Pocopia's Go system. Pokémon Pocopia * is set to release on March 5th. And it sounds amazing it as a mix of the classic, monster catching we love, with a social simulation style like Animal Crossing *. But when the official Nintendo Store page went live, it confirmed the game will use a Game Key card. To make matters worse, Nintendo released a short video explaining how it works, and let's just say it did not go over well. The video got thousands of dislikes almost immediately. So, why are people so angry? The core of the issue is ownership. When you buy a physical game, you expect the whole game to be on that cartridge. You own it. You can't play it 20 now without needing an internet connection or worrying about a server shutting down. With a Game Key card system, your physical digital file. This means you're dependent on Nintendo servers to download the game in the first place. This taps into a much bigger fear in the gaming community, the idea that we losing ownership of our digital libraries. Publisher clandestini, meaning they just remove them from online stores. If you haven't downloaded it, you're out of luck. This can happen for all sorts of reasons. For example, a game's license might expire. Remember John Wick Hex * from 2019. As the movie franchise got more popular, the licensing costs probably went up. And eventually, the game was pulled from stores. If you didn't buy it then, you can't get it now. It's not just old games, either. Popular titles from the last generation can vanish. *PUBG for the PS4 and Xbox One came out in 2018, but last August, the publisher announced they were shutting down the servers for those versions. The game is now unplayable on those consoles, even if you own the disc. Your purchase is essentially worthless. This problem has gotten so bad that a consumer movement called Stop Killing Games started last year. Their goal is to legally challenge a company's right to make a game you bought unplayable. They're making progress in the UK and the EU, pushing for new laws to protect consumers. The Pokémon Pocopia * situation is just the latest and most high-profile example of this trend that has gamers so fired up. It feels like Nintendo, a company celebrated for its physical games, is joining the very trend that players are fighting against. So, how exactly does this Game Key card work? It's pretty straightforward. You buy the game box at the store, and inside you find the cartridge. You pop it into your Switch 2. The console then recognizes the card and prompts you to download the rest of the game from the eShop. Once the download is complete, the game is fully installed on your system's memory or an SD card. As long as that original cartridge is inserted into your Switch 2, you can play the game offline. No internet connection required. Now, a common question is, can you still sell the game or lend it to a friend? The answer is yes. In tat sens, economies just key. If you selit, the new author the same prard download the game data to their own Switch 2, and then they can play. Your old downloaded files will become unusable without the key, but the new owner can get their own. So, it's not all bad, but the dependency on that initial download is the real sticking point. If Nintendo ever shuts down the Switch to eShop servers years from now, anybody who bashes Pokémon Pokopia will be downloads, making the cartridge completely useless. That's the long-term fear for game collectors and preservationists. Is Pokémon the only game doing this? Nope. We already know several third-party launch titles for the Switch 2 will use game key cards. Games like Street Fighter 6 *, Bravely Default, Flying Fairy HD, Remaster *, and * Nobunaga's Ambition, Awakening * are all confirmed. To help customers, Nintendo will put a little key icon on the game's box art, showing exactly how much data you'll need to download. This brings us to the biggest question of all. Why? Why is Nintendo doing this, especially with its own flagship franchise? Nintendo Hasebra, Brett Pampnist, Shantaro Furukau, mentioned it was a way to get more active support from third-party developers. Reading between the lines, it all comes down to cost. The Switch 2 is a more powerful console, capable of handling high-end graphics. That means bigger games and larger file sizes. The current largest Switch to cartridge holds 64 gigabytes of data. That's a lot, and it's enough for a massive game like Cyberpunk 2077 *, which will use the full cartridge. But some games are even bigger. The upcoming Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate * is reportedly a massive 88 gigabytes, a game that Big simply won't fit on a single 64 gigabytes cartridge. For a title like that, the game key card is the only way to get a physical release. But here's the weird part. * Bravely Default, Flying Fairy HD, Remaster * is only a little over 9 gigabytes. That would easily fit on even the smallest, cheapest cartridge. Yet, it's also using a game key card. This suggests that Nintendo might be offering developers a discount on production costs if they opt for the download key model. By offloading the data storage to the consumer's SD card and Nintendo servers, the developer saves money on manufacturing a larger, more expensive cartridge. This could also explain why we're seeing game prices go up. The new * Super Mario Kart World * for the Switch 2 is the first mainline Nintendo game to be priced at $80. Part of that price hike might be to cover the cost of using a full-sized physical cartridge that actually contains the whole game. So, you might have a choice. Pay more for a complete physical copy, or pay a bit less for a key and a mandatory download. The same Pokémon Pokopia * situation feels different because Pokémon has always been a game that people collect and cherish for years. The idea that future generations might not be able to play it because of server shutdowns is what's truly upsetting the community. It feels like a betrayal of the trust that physical game buyers have in Nintendo. What do you think about all this? Is the game key card a smart business move to keep costs down, or is it a step too far in the war on game ownership? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a complicated issue with good points on both sides, but it's definitely going to shape the future of how we buy and play games. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the latest gaming news. See you in the next one.